Welcome to Reading Wisdom by the author James Lynch and his ever dutiful note taker, Poeartistry. Good day, perceptive readers, and welcome to Reading Wisdom. This one will take longer than 5 or 10 minutes or what have you, because I do have some comments I want to make along or pass along to you even before we read Matthew chapter 4. When you first hear this podcast, unless you already like have subscriptions to some of my other platforms where I release these podcasts at least a day earlier or what have you. But some of you will probably be hearing this for the first time on June 4th. Yes, that's June 4th. Um, all the same, no, I'm sorry. You will be hearing this for the first time probably on June 3rd. And we're reading Matthew chapter 4. If you're wondering, did I do a reading wisdom of Matthew chapter 1? I did not do one specifically for what we're doing here in the month of June, of 2026, because I've read Matthew chapter 1 to you throughout the years for several different reasons of learning and edification, as people would say. So you do have me reading and expressing different points on that chapter. That if you want to go back through and find them, you know what? If you can't find them, what is so wonderful, and see, and this is going to take me right into my next area, is that with the capabilities of my advanced secretary, advanced intelligence secretary, you know who I'm talking about, Poeartistry. Man, all I have to do is just continue to give her additional access as I develop her LLM, you see, and she's able to just pull that information, up for me or what have you. So I could do that for you if I needed to. All the same, remember, this is still like a special set of readings that we're doing that I did stop with chapter 2. And again, let me continue along with that line of advanced intelligence. Some people have been doing interviews and commentaries, even saying specifically, has AI killed or is it going to destroy the music industry? And see, I want to talk about that. Because I actually, and I'm not going to mention this person's name here, neither one of them, but make no mistake about it, the person that was doing this interview, uh, let me tell you, on and off for years, I've actually, I guess you could say, followed his career from this place or that place or what have you. And he's always been very, I guess you could say, upfront with the way that he feels about different situations in this way and that way. And I've seen him be so honest with himself, and I seriously mean honest with himself, even though that was still part of what he gave his subscribers, his listeners and supporters, about when he felt good about something and when he felt bad about something. And even if he felt bad about something, like something that he made, yeah, I don't feel too good about that. You see, I always appreciate the his reasoning, and even to the point of where even though I feel this way, I know I got to get it together, and so still he expressed how he felt about these different situations. And remember what I used to tell you. See, this just by watching this interview, because I haven't watched one of his interviews or anything. Or I mean, it's been a while just because of life happening to me in a variety of ways. But I did. I wanted to see how months uh, um, reminiscing and things taking time to rest or to meditate or to read or whatever can bring you back to different things. And so this has brought me back to one of my old routines that I used to do. And like I said, I'm going somewhere with this. And remember, this still is the reading wisdom here, okay? And we're going to get to Matthew chapter 4. Uh, yeah, as I mentioned, he's always been honest about why he feel this way or that way about something. He'll even mention when he's actually jealous of this situation or that situation or what have you as well. Now, that brings up another point of something that I shared with you all over the years. I tell you, out of the many people that I've come in contact with in my life, and some of you are finding out, good God, just how many people has he known, or at least said hi would, or said had a cup of coffee would, or I got to say, here's something stronger to drink than anything else. Probably more people on the face of this earth. No, I'm just joking. But the whole point is, if it's one question that you can ask them this. And see, and I'm making a point about this, okay? If there's one question you can ask them, no matter whether they love me or God knows I got enough people that hate me. God knows people, oh, let me shut up. But the whole point, and I'm not saying it's justified that they hate me either. I'm just telling you. But the point is, I bet you can ask any one of them. Has James ever said he was jealous of anybody, even as a joke or whether seriousness? And see what response you will get. I bet you in unison, if they're being honest, probably every single one of them will say, you know, no, I've never seen him even joke in that way, or really feel that way about anybody, even though we were fighting for this reason or that reason or what have you. So anyway, that's just another thought for you to think about. Okay, getting back now to AI, because see, one of the things that this person who is a musician, and he went on. See, at one time years ago, he was really making, such income between performances and streams and things of that nature, that all he was just able to just totally concentrate on his music, really. You see, and now he's had to branch out and actually create or develop another aspect of his business that's falling under his umbrella. You see, it's like a totally different skill set, a very much needed skill set, but it's still not one that I don't think he would have even dived into in that area if the music industry, if the way it was supposed to continue to work like it's been for over the past 100 years, would still have brought in the income and the money that it used to. See, and that's what we're getting into. And so, anyway, um, he was mentioning about even persons who, can't sing and things of that nature have been making it big by using AI. And even he had a relative, you see, that did the same thing. And he was thinking about, boy, all the basically scrapes and bruises he had to go through in life to even get where he's at. And he's feeling like, it's interesting that the way that he was expressing himself, that it's almost like, in a sense, he's starting over with some of the stuff that he has to do and learn and things of that nature. And that he feels like it's just unfair or what have you. He feels like also to be able to mimic even different musicians and their music and things of that nature. And then because of their connections or what have you, they're able to just make it big. And now, he's just not receiving what he was. And see, and he was just talking honestly, a jovial spirit, laughing but serious at the same time. And so the person that he was talking to is actually, I believe, some type of award, Emmy, Grammy, or some type of winner from his own music. And see, and I got something I'm going to say here, and this is the reason why I'm not mentioning the name, because remember I told you that whenever I really do break down different people's lyrics or what have you, especially if they're well known, then I almost feel like I take my commentaries in that way, that if I can't really say something, you see, in a very respectable or totally nice way, in an uplifting way of just what's so good about this, without going into straight up saying, I don't like that this person said that. You see, really, you see what I'm saying? Then I won't even really mention their name. You see, I'll probably say, for some of my other commentaries where it just happens to apply to the situations where I maybe even bring up, I say, I bet you their mama not even proud of them. No, but won't mention the name. Okay. I know some of you still following me along with my thoughts and my jokes. And believe me, all I had was coffee this morning. Well, continuing on. Um, the man that he was expressing all these things for. Uh, See, the first point that I want to mention, because I'm gonna tell you like some of the advice he ended up giving and saying, and I'm gonna tell you. So there were some statements that he clearly made that I said, no, you know what? I know I got to chalk this as my opinion, but I still totally disagree with what he said there. Totally. And see, he said it more than once, maybe three times or whatever. And the way that he intimated, and I'm like, no, I disagree with it. Every single time he replied back to this person that I told you I watch give interviews, do interviews, and things of that nature over, some years now. Well, anyway, um, this person, has made it big. See, got studios and got connections. What am I saying? Oh, the person got money. The money's still streaming somewhere. The person is settled, set. See what I'm talking about? I would say for life. Okay, whether AI destroys the music business, as they would say. Anyway, and I keep saying it's not really AI. I keep talking about the ethics in certain matters, which I'm not talking about here, but I want to bring up this point. So you may be saying, well, James, what did he say in reply back to everything that the man was saying? Well, one of the responses, and I'm paraphrasing, had to do more with he just needed to work harder. He just needed to innovate more. And see, I'm putting it in my words. Um, he just needed. Now I do appreciate the part about not being jealous or what have you, but his reasoning that he gave to try to convince him why not to be jealous, I still, in my opinion, felt like, no, you're still comparing apples and oranges, trying to get your point across, and it wasn't coming across to me. Okay, so what was it? Along with those thoughts of persons just needing to work harder, and the points about not being jealous over persons, and be happy and thankful that they can use the tools that they can mix in this way and that way, and stuff like that, all just through AI, and make it big, be happy for them. And I understand that. But then he took it to the next level, and it is actually something that I notice is a practice of a lot of people today. And I'm going to tell you straight up, I've seen this practice, in my opinion, start more with the persons who already, again, are set with their trust funds. They are set with their money. They are set with their careers no matter what happens. They got connections and stuff. And it's this type of view. It's this type of what they're putting forth in the way that they express themselves. Sometimes I'm like, yeah, you can talk like that, and yet what I'm bringing out to you today, when I'm about to say what that person said, is I'm like, no, yeah, as you made your riches in this way and that way, you're not fully appreciating really the situation that we have with the music industry and the economy today, as to why it's not as simple as just saying you have to work harder, you have to innovate more, whatever. Because there are other, what I said, unethical matters. And see, and I think that the one interview even mentioned something about honesty and integrity, about certain things about the way he was feeling this way. But see, that's what I'm just talking about. If there's too much leeway going on for injustice in professional music industries and stuff like that way, it's like, no, the pipe dream, you know how they like to always say, oh, this person just living on the pipe dream thinking the world is this way and that way. Where I'm gonna say the pipe dream is being able to just now say that all the person has to do is just work harder um and use the tools and stuff like that, when it still really boils down to the way that this world economy is being monopolized and singled out businesses and things of that nature, where it's not only, you see, what you know, but it's more so who you know. Now, and if you don't have the who you know, it doesn't matter how hard you work and learn, if you're already not part of these individualized, monopolized different sectors and sections of society that's really controlling everything. That's really controlling everything. And don't worry, you're gonna see what I'm talking about. Now, he said, now look at it, I'm still 15 minutes into this. He basically told the person, and the way that he was saying it, I'm telling you, you can almost get the impression that, I mean, and I'm not gonna say I know that's not what he was trying to do, but all I'm saying is, remember, one of the things that the man said that was doing the interview, the reason why he was jealous is because that person couldn't sing and made all his money. And so the way that the man did respond back to the interview was almost like, we have to cut, tweak, mix, and all sorts of stuff. We don't sound like that for real. And he made sure to say, so he could have been doing it because he didn't like the way that he said that man couldn't sing. I don't know. All I do know is his reasoning went on further to make it sound like that because the finished product of even their albums or what have you only sounded that good just because they had all those tools and mixers and equalizers and studio systems and stuff like that working, that is not something that he can even really complain about there. He was basically saying he had been doing the same thing all his life, you see. It's just that now you got AI that has just taken it to the next level. And this is the point that I told you I continue. This is what I really strongly disagree with. I've mentioned to you all before. Have you ever had the experience of going to not only just, a major concert, but I'm literally talking about those venues, hole in the wall venues, you call them, clubs, even coffee shops and things. There's been mom and pop places where, what am I talking about? Live bands, live singing, no, nothing other than just their own drums, their guitars, and that person singing, and nothing else is going through, no auto tune or anything of that nature. make no mistake about it. To me, that's good. That's good singing. That was still good singing. And the singing was so good that's why you see back in the 70s and 80s, and I haven't been in a record store now in years. Haven't been in one in years. But back then, that's why you used to have people who would go and battles live albums. Would go and battles live albums. I mentioned even recently from the American Music Awards or what have you, a very famous rock star, you see, actually received a lifetime award, you see, for his music. And he actually, sang and everything that night. And he is, once again, now over 50. That's all I'm going to say. He's over 50. And then he gave some encouragement on doing or being who you want to be in music. Find the instrument that you want to be, or what have you, and be it. And so I bring that up because then he was talking about, he went way back to when they had started in the 1970s, 76, 77, around about there, 1976, 77, yeah. One of them. Well, he didn't even think. I think it would last 6 months. I don't even think that he thought it would last that long or what have you. And look at him now. And see, and I'm here to tell you, as a person, that even from way back those decades ago, I still have, yes, one of the original albums that he put out even in the early 80s. See, one of the original albums, ain't that something? Um, the turntable big gone. You see, don't have nothing to play it on, but I still have it, and it's interesting. You see, there are certain still cassettes. You see, only a few. Certain CDs that are still only a few, and a very few albums. And his was one of them that I still got. Isn't that interesting? So the whole point is, what I want to say is, from that interview that I actually listened to, I still almost felt like, no, you don't have to still tear the man, tear anybody down to try to prove your point, because of the simple fact that the music was still good, even in a live way. You see, even before it was tweaked and mixed and things of that nature. And so that's what I want to mention about that. That even though, and I want to give the man still his due. He was mentioning, and see, and this is my last point I'm going to cover on this. He was mentioning, though, that, hey, the reason why you are much more valuable, that no matter what AI is doing, see, that's what the man still ended up saying, that no matter what AI is doing, you're still the original, you're still the human, you're still the luxury item and things of that nature, what have you. And he went on to state, and this is what I want to, make my opinion about. He still went on to state, see, that's what people still want to pay for, though. They want to pay for persons like you, who are the luxury, the original item, and this and that, no matter what AI is doing. And you know what? See, I've heard that pep talk as well over the years. And then you know what? I fall right back on where I tell you, it's not even always what you know now, but who you know it now, for people to respect and dignify you in that way. You heard me say before, you can have a masterpiece. You can even have the cure for cancer or any ailment. But if your name has been ostracized, blackballed out of these different think tanks and community, nobody gonna touch your stuff. You see what I'm saying? So that's what I mean. All the same, I wanted to share that with you because Yes. Even though people may still, some people may say, because some people just as happy as ever, just to, you see, never have any really original authors or writers or singers of music at all. See, and that's the conditioning that's happening upon the world. And that's what I know. That's what this one person who was doing the interview was basically saying. Without using that word conditioning, that's the word I'm using, that's what they're doing on society today. And that's why I continue to share these things with you. All for what? To continue to monopolize things and even creativity that they shouldn't be doing, but they want to do it. And see, and that's why that one person was doing the interview even mentioned something about, you know, he didn't say it like this, but this is the way I took it. He was still like, can't you just save humanity before profit, before greed, before money? And he didn't say it like that, but I'm saying it like that because I told you there is still enough value and energy. He also talked about that, which you heard me talk about over the years, that people have, that nobody should be out on the street. Nobody should be living just scraping pennies and things of that nature. And all too often, I've seen people make it seem like, well, if everybody's satisfied, then nobody's going to want to do this or do that. And I'm here to say again, well, okay, people nowhere near in this satisfied and still look at the world. Still look at the world. Still look at the way we have those type of interviews or discussions going on today. You see, so and my view is I told you from what I even see in the good book of reading, Jesus is more so, you know what? I don't want your belly hungry when I'm talking to you about this. I want you to really make decisions because your mind is right, it's sound, you can understand and be still more motivated from accurate knowledge than just this something that, you know what, I ain't got time. I got to feed myself. I got to feed my family. If I don't know nothing else, I do know God has basically said, you know, a man who doesn't take care of his family, you see, is a man worse than one, you see, as if they have no faith. You see, it's something along those lines that it's like a man who doesn't even have any faith. So the whole point is, no matter how much some persons, whether they disagree, this is an opinion, this is fact. See, there are people I told you that have been targeted and they've lost careers, they've lost jobs. All the while, the hidden backdoor rooms and conversations was to still try to make it seem like that wasn't going on when it really was. And see, and I'm the type of person I told you before, it's not opinion. You see, it's not some blind theory, conspiracy theory. No, it was actually conspiracy, factual agenda of the way that some of these people functions. Okay, and now you're going to see why. In Matthew chapter 4, here we go. Then Jesus was led by the Spirit up into the wilderness to be tempted by the devil. After he had fasted 40 days and 40 nights, then he felt hungry. Also, the tempter came and said to him, if you are a son of God, tell these stones to become loaves of bread. But in reply, he said, it is written, man must live not on bread alone, but on every utterance coming forth through Jehovah's mouth. Then the devil took him along into the holy city, and he stationed him upon the battlement of the temple, and said to him, if you are a son of God, hurl yourself down, for it is written, he will give his angels a charge concerning you, and they will carry you on their hands, that you may at no time strike your foot against a stone. Jesus said to him, again it is written, you must not put Jehovah your God to the test. Again, the devil took him along to an unusually high mountain and showed him all the kingdoms of the world and their glory. And he said to him, all these things I will give you if you fall down and do an act of worship to me. Then Jesus said to him, go away, Satan, for it is written, it is Jehovah your God you must worship, and it is to him alone you must render sacred service. Then the devil left him, and look, angels came and began to minister to him. Now, when he heard that John had been arrested, he withdrew into Galilee. Further, after leaving Nazareth, he came and took up residence in Capernaum, beside the sea in the districts of Zebulun and Naphtali, that there might be fulfilled what was spoken through Isaiah the prophet, saying, O land of Zebulun and land of Naphtali, along the road of the sea, on the other side of the Jordan, Galilee of the nations. The people sitting in darkness saw a great light, and as for those sitting in a region of deathly shadow, light rose upon them. From that time on, Jesus commenced preaching and saying, repent, you people, for the kingdom of the heavens has drawn near. Walking alongside the Sea of Galilee, he saw two brothers, Simon, who is called Peter, and Andrew, his brother, letting down a fishing net into the sea, for they were fishers. And he said to them, come after me, and I will make you fishers of men. At once, abandoning the nets, they followed him. Going on also from there, he saw two others who were brothers, James, the son of Zebedee, and John, his brother, in the boat with Zebedee, their father, mending their nets. And he called them. At once, leaving the boat and their father, they followed him. Then he went around throughout the whole of Galilee, teaching in their synagogues and preaching the good news of the kingdom, and curing every sort of disease and every sort of infirmity among the people. And the report about him went out into all Syria, and they brought him all those faring badly, distressed with various diseases and torments, demon possessed and epileptic and paralyzed persons, and he cured them. Consequently, great crowds followed him from Galilee and Decapolis and Jerusalem and Judea and from the other side of the Jordan. Have a wonderful day, Perceptive readers. Take care.